up, Ross Rebellion? It's Ross the Boss Campbell, and today I'm going to be saying who, in my opinion, is every NHL team's greatest player of all time. Got my Avalanche cap on, and as you might be able to see, I got the Spurs and Thunder game in the background, but I don't even care because I'm watching the game right now while making this. Keeping it raw and real. I only have 2 takes. If I just fuck up what I'm about to say so badly, that deserves a second take. But anyway, enough rambling. Let's get right into it. The Anaheim Ducks, Teemu Selanne, the Finnish Flash, straight out of Finland. Sorry, I had to do that just once. People say I sound like Patrick Star, so I thought I'd have to throw that joke in here. Anyway, Teemu Selanne was a 5-time All-Star, won the 1999 Richard Trophy named after Maurice Rocket Richard, which is the league leader in goals, and led the Mighty Ducks to their first Stanley Cup in 2007, and is a Hall of Famer. The Boston Bruins, oh god, the accent was bad, number 4, and God, apparently, according to his hockey reference page, I'm not kidding, look that up. Bobby Orr, 7-time All-Star, 1967 Calder Trophy, which is Rookie of the Year, 8-time Norris Trophy winner, which goes to the top defenseman, 2-time Conn Smythe Trophy, which is Playoff MVP, 3-time Hart Trophy, which is MVP, Most Valuable Player, and 2 Stanley Cups, and is probably the greatest defenseman in NHL history. The Buffalo Sabres, the Dominator, Dominik Hasek, 5-time All-Star, 6-time Vezina Trophy, which is given to the best goalie in the league, 2-time Jennings Trophy, which is goalie with the fewest goals against, 2-time Hart Trophy, and that's right, he won the Hart Trophy not once but twice. I mean, goalies rarely win that award once. All-time leader in save percentage, took the Sabres to the Stanley Cup Final in 1999, didn't quite win the Cup with them, but did win 2 for Red Wings, and in my opinion, is the greatest goaltender of all time. The Calgary Flames, Jarome Iginla. Iggy was a 2-time Ross Trophy winner, which goes to the league leader in points, 2-time Richard Trophy, 6-time All-Star, and took the Flames to the Cup Final in 2004, and is in the Hall of Fame. The Carolina Hurricanes / Hartford Whalers, Ron Francis, aka Ronnie Franchise. As you can see in this image, he did play for them, or at least was in his prime back when they were the Whalers. Then they traded him to the Penguins, won a couple cups with the Pens, but he did play for them once they relocated to Carolina to become the Hurricanes. But I just decided to include this image because him and the Whalers sweater was just simply more iconic. But I digress. 3-time All-Star, 2nd all-time in assists, behind, I bet you can guess who, and took the Canes to the Cup Final in 2002, and is a Hall of Famer. The Chicago Blackhawks, Stan the Man Mikita, 9-time All-Star, 4-time Ross winner, 2-time Hart Trophy winner, won them the Cup in 1961, and is enshrined in the Hall of Fame. My Colorado Avalanche, Mr. Clutch, Joe Sakic. Yeah, I'm not kidding on Hockey Reference. It says Mr. Clutch is a nickname of his, not to be confused with Jerry West. But anyway, 12-time All-Star, 1996 Conn Smythe winner, 2001 Hart winner, and won us our first 2 Stanley Cups in 1996 and 2001, just a few months before I was born, and is rightfully in the Hall of Fame. The Columbus Blue Jackets, Sergei Bobrovsky, 2-time Vezina winner, and was the netminder during the team's best run in franchise history in the mid to late 2010s. Took what was usually a bottom-feeding franchise, made him a consistent playoff team while he was there, and is a future Hall of Famer. The Dallas Stars, Mike Modano, 7-time All-Star, captured the Stars their first Stanley Cup in 1999, and is the greatest American hockey player of all time. The Detroit Red Wings, Mr. Hockey, Gordie Howe, 22-time All-Star, 6-time Ross winner, 6-time Hart winner, won 4 Stanley Cups, and by the time he went to the WHA in the mid-70s, he won that league's MVP award, which was named after him, and is a top 5 hockey player of all time. And you guys gotta see this. This was Gordie Howe by the time he played for the Whalers at the tail end of his career. This dude played for 26 years, and he was retired for a couple of them in between his NHL and WHA tenure. He played in the WHA for the Houston Aeros, won some Avco Cups, their equivalent of the Stanley Cup of them, then played for the Whalers in the WHA, and then was still with them when they went to the NHL during the merger. This dude played from age 18 to age 51. Like, this dude might have been a grandpa. Like, just look at his hair by the time he plays last season. Like, man, Gordie Howe really is Mr. Hockey. Kudos to him. Edmonton Oilers, Mark Messier. Kidding. It's obviously the great one, Wayne Gretzky. 8-time All-Star, and this is just with the Oilers alone, by the way. 9-time Hart, 10-time Ross winner, 2-time Conn Smythe winner, 4-time Cup winner, all-time assists and points leader, and was the all-time goals leader for a long time before someone who we'll get to later came around. And his number 99 is retired league-wide for good reason. The Florida Panthers, their current captain, Alexander Barkov, 2-time All-Star, is the franchise's all-time leader in goals and points. It was on both Cup-winning teams back-to-back in 2024 and 2025. The Los Angeles Kings, Andrei Kopitar, and according to his hockey reference page, was Jesus. 5-time All-Star, franchise's all-time points leader, and led them to their 2 Stanley Cup wins in 2012 in that all-time Cinderella run as the 8th seed, and 2014, and is a future Hall of Famer. The Minnesota Wild, Mikko Koivu, he was never an all-star, but was the face of the Wild for 15 years, was a great defensive forward as he was in the running for the Selk Award multiple times, which is given to the top defensive forward, and led them to the playoffs several times. The Montreal Canadiens, Guy Lafleur, 5-time All-Star, 3-time Ross winner, 1977 Conn Smythe winner, 2-time Hart winner, and 5-time Cup champion, was part of the Canadiens' 4-peat dynasty in the late 70s, where they won every year from 76 to 79, and is in the Hall of Fame. The Nashville Predators, Pekka Rinne, 3-time All-Star, 2018 Vezina winner, and took the team to their only Cup final appearance so far in 2017 because Pekka Rinne's too good right now. Urinating tree reference. The New Jersey Devils, Satan's wallpaper, according to Hockey Reference, Martin Brodeur. And that he was, as he was a 9-time All-Star, 1994 Calder winner, 5-time Jennings winner, 4-time Vezina, 3-time Cup champion, and the all-time leader in wins, saves, shutouts, and minutes played, and is a consensus top 2 goalie of all time, if not better than Hasek. The New York Islanders, the boss, Mike Bossy. We have a lot in common, and his middle name is Dean, so I guess you could call him the Dean of the hockey rink. But he was a 7-time All-Star, 1978 Calder winner, 1982 Conn Smythe. Helped the Isles win 4 Stanley Cups in a row from 1980 to 1983, and is a Hall of Famer. The New York Rangers, Brian Leetch. Had to use this image because it just looks so badass. 9-time All-Star, 1989 Calder, 2-time Norris winner, 1994 Conn Smythe, helped the Rangers win their first cup in 54 years in 1994, and is a Hall of Famer. The Ottawa Senators, Daniel Alfredson, and just look at this image, like, I can't tell if he's trying to hold him to laugh or if he's pissed off about something, but he was a 6-time All-Star, 1996 Calder winner, took the Sens to their lone Cup Finals appearance in 2007, and is a Hall of Famer. The Philadelphia Flyers, Bobby Clark, 8-time All-Star, 3-time Hart winner, led the Broad Street Bullies to back-to-back Cups in 1974 and 1975, is a Hall of Famer, and is most famous for his $1 million smile, as you can see in this photo. I mean, just look at that beauty. Like, dude sacrificed both his buck teeth to be a hockey player, and won 2 Stanley Cups as a result. The Pittsburgh Penguins, Super Mario Lemieux, 10-time All-Star, 1985 Calder winner, 6-time Ross winner, 3-time Hart, 2-time Smythe, won the Pens their first 2 cups back-to-back in 1991 and 1992, and is in the Mount Rushmore of hockey players. San Jose Sharks, Jumbo Joe Thornton. He was a 3-time All-Star, 2006 Ross winner, and Hart Trophy winner that same year, and took the Sharks to their only Stanley Cup Finals appearance in 2016. And by God, just look at that amazing beard of his. The Seattle Kraken, Jared McCann. Well, this is the lowest bar of them all, but for this 5-year-old franchise, he is their all-time leader in goals and points. The St. Louis Blues, Brett Hull, son of the legendary Bobby Hull, 7-time All-Star, 1991 Hart winner, and is the team's all-time goals leader. The Tampa Bay Lightning, Steven Stamkos. Stammer the Hammer was a 7-time All-Star, 2-time Richard winner, and won them back-to-back Stanley Cups in 2020 and 2021. Toronto Maple Leafs, Matt Sundin, according to Hockey Reference, was known as the Big Weed, which is a hilarious nickname. Would have no idea behind the origin story, but just thought I'd mention it. 8-time All-Star, didn't win any cups because he played for the cursed Maple Leafs, but was good enough to make the Hall of Fame. The Utah Mammoth. Okay, I was wrong. This would actually be the lowest bar because they're only a 2-year-old franchise, but it's the Missouri-made Clayton Keller. For this 2-year-old franchise, he is their face of a franchise. He's their team captain and is their all-time points leader. The Vancouver Canucks, Henrik Sedin. It's between him and his twin brother, Daniel Sedin, who both played their entire career in Vancouver. Henrik was a slightly better of the twins in my opinion, as he was a 3-time All-Star, 2010 Hart Trophy and Ross Trophy winner, and took the Canucks to the 2011 Stanley Cup Final. The Vegas Golden Knights, Jonathan Marchessault. For this franchise, who's had a short but sweet run so far, it's Marchie, as he started out as a misfit in their expansion draft, but 6 years later won the Conn Smythe and won them their first cup in 2023. The Washington Capitals, the Great Eight, Alex Ovechkin. Ovi is a 9-time All-Star, 2006 Calder winner, 2008 Ross winner, 9-time Richard winner, 3-time Hart, 2018 Conn Smythe, when they won the Stanley Cup that same year, and surpassed the GOAT Wayne Gretzky as the all-time goals leader with 929 and counting, assuming he plays next season, and is a future first-ballot Hall of Famer. And last but not least, the Winnipeg Jets, Connor Hellebuck, 4-time All-Star, 3-time Vezina winner, 2-time Jennings winner, 2025 Hart Trophy winner, first goalie to do so since Carey Price in 10 years, and made this usually bad team he inherited into a team that's more consistently competitive, and is on trajectory to be a Hall of Famer. Thanks for watching, everyone. I had a lot of fun making this. Hope you had fun watching it. And, gonna hop off now, but feel free to subscribe if you want to see more content like this, more Rawsome content. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a Rawsome day, everybody. Peace.